average in Primerica? 70% is good, right? And so I think I can speak about it. I think I have the right to do that because I think I've kept my clients very satisfied, at least to this day. Client retention. What am I doing? Okay. So client satisfaction is a must. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right? And the reason that we need to keep our clients happy is because number one, they give us the referrals, right? If they're happy with your business, guess what? It leads you to more business, okay? And that's pretty much what's been happening to me recently, probably in the past year. I've earned a lot of my clients' referrals, okay? It really does brand your business because obviously, again, when clients are happy, then they'll be talking about you, right? Or even when you're not around, they'll be like, oh, I know this person and she's done a really good job or he's done a really good job. And they'll, you're just gonna keep driving the production, which is the last bullet point there. Okay, sorry, I barely got any sleep last night. Okay, client loyalty, right? A happy customer stays, right? They will stay with you, and they're gonna be really happy. And when clients stay with you, they start having these, parties and they invite you and all that. So they're happy, they stay with you, and again, it leads to more referrals, right? But also, it helps us to self-improve, right? Because when your clients are happy or not happy, they can tell you, and then you can work on yourself to, improve so you can do better with your clients, right? Okay, my clicker's not working. Sorry, guys. Broken. Okay. You never ever overpromise and underdeliver. Okay? It's better to underpromise and overdeliver. What does that mean? If you tell a client that this is going to happen, right? For example, like I gave a quote to a client. If they say, you know what, Sheila, I want to apply for life insurance, and I know they already have like hypertension, which is high blood pressure. I'm not gonna quote them like best case scenario ever. I'm gonna be like, look, dude, either it's gonna be $80 or more. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's gonna be $40. No, because if a client is expecting $80 or more, right? But for some reason it becomes $70, do you think they're gonna be happier?
Yes.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if you say, oh, dude, it's gonna be $40, and then it's $80, what do you think they're gonna be? Man, you bait and switch, man. What the hell did you do? Right? And I was talking to a client this past week, and they said, you know what? I see all these, stuff on TV, like for $10, you can get $500,000. I'd be like, you know what that means, right? It's either $10 maybe for 1 year, and then it shoots up the year after. I said, there's a lot of tactics that, sales tactics out there, but you have to be very careful. I said, I'd rather be more realistic with my approach and know that either it's gonna be this or more, right? Oh, always, always, always under promise but over deliver. They're gonna be much happier. Okay, pointers. Number one, you gotta listen carefully to your clients, right? I like to talk, obviously, right? But I'm a good listener as well, okay? I wanna make sure that I'm addressing all of my clients' concerns, and you just gotta listen carefully. And, people like to talk about themselves too. And I've changed my ways now. When I talk to a client, I start with, tell me a little bit about yourself first, right? So I adapted that with Tia, okay? So thank you so much. And this is, like I said, I come to meetings because I learn from everybody, right? And it's really important. So I listen carefully, but I went up a notch by actually starting with asking them first about themselves. You gotta be very responsive, okay? Like Samir says, I sleep late because I have clients in the West Coast. But one thing all my clients know is I will always respond to any inquiries they have, okay? And, I always tell them that the only time I don't respond right away is either I'm praying, I'm driving, right? I am with a client already, or I really just did not see it, right? But I usually go back through all my messages, and I am very responsive. And if I really did not see it and I finally saw it like 2 days later, I'll be like, I'm really sorry, okay? So you also have to be very accountable with your clients, right? Because we're, you know, we'll make mistakes. Not everybody's perfect, myself included. I make mistakes, but I know when to apologize to my clients and be sincere about it. You know, don't just be like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, but it has to. They know when you're real sincere about it, right? You want to follow up also with your clients. I don't want to be annoying, right? Most of my QAs I end with, "Do you guys have any questions?" And I'm not pushy, right? That's one thing about me. I do not push them to where they have to, you know, oh, you got to sign up today. It really depends. I can posture myself in that manner because I've earned the respect of, you know, of my clients, right? And I'm like, look, dude, if anything, you need this more than I do, right? Because it's true. I'm not lying. It's like, if you don't protect your family, it's not my family's gonna be in a bind. It's yours, right? You can't teach people how to be responsible, but you can educate them to why they need to be responsible, right? That's just the way it is. But I follow up with my clients, but not to a manner where it's annoying, right? The one thing that clients do not like is, you know, that annoying, oh, she keeps calling me like a little bitch, you know. I don't like that either, okay? Sorry, I had to throw that in.
Oh my God.
Communicate effectively, right? You want to be able to make sure that when you're communicating to your clients, they understand it, right? And sometimes you just have to ask them, did you understand? Can you repeat what that means? How did you understand that? And that's just a way to really know that your clients are actually, the clients know that you actually care and that you're actually paying attention to their needs as well, right? Be honest and genuine, you know, I can't stress this enough. I hate people that lie. I hate people that get ripped, you know, I hate when people get ripped off, and of course I hate the people that rip other people off, right? And this is why I'm in this predicament. That's why I'm with Primerica, okay? And lastly, you gotta know your products, okay? I don't know everything. I certainly didn't know everything, but I would call Samir, like, I'd blow up his phone like 10 times a day. That stayed off though. You gotta know your products, right? You have to know your products. And that just comes with practice, right? Go on as many appointments as you can, learn from the best, watch the YouTube. We have a YouTube channel if you're not on there. A lot of our trainings are on there. So you're gonna learn from the best of the best in the company, okay? So every time I do an application, all right, these are things that I would like to disclose, right? Number one, when they're getting a medical exam, right? First of all, we all know it's a third party, yes?
Yes.
So, and that's important because sometimes they drop the ball on it, like it doesn't represent Primerica, but yes, we have to take accountability, right? That, hey, sorry, we use this company and we apologize, we're gonna get it fixed. Because sometimes they do drop the ball. I've had clients that call me and go like, hey man, your guy didn't show up.
Right.
So from the very beginning, I always say it's a third party. But if there's any issue, we can fix it, right? That way they know that it's not our company, it's just a company that we use. Make sense? And early on, you're setting that, that if they mess up, it's not really us, okay? Some people don't like to get a medical exam. They don't like to get their blood drawn. They like pass out. That actually happens more with men. More with men.
Oh my God.
Right? So you gotta tell them, hey, they're gonna draw some blood for it, right?
Yeah.
You gotta prepare them for that. And this is why
Yeah.
sometimes they're like, you know what, man, I don't want that. I just, let's just do the non-medical, right? So, but they know that they're gonna draw their blood, right? HIV testing, you gotta disclose that. That's actually part of the disclosures. And urine sample, okay? They can't cheat because they measure the temperature on that urine, okay? So if they're like doing drugs or whatever, it's gonna show up. All right, so make sure they don't lie, right? Some of them still will, but you gotta tell them, hey man.
Yes, true.
If you smoke, and you tell me that you're not smoking, it's gonna show up. Tobacco, nicotine is gonna show up in the urine. All right. We don't guarantee anything, right? Meaning to say that every time anybody applies, it is never guaranteed approval. Okay. But it's also not a firm commitment, okay? And the reason I reiterate that is because sometimes people are like, you know what, I don't think, this insurance. I'll be like, look, you're just applying. You don't even know if you qualify, right? And it's true, you're not lying, you know, not everybody's gonna qualify to get approved for the insurance. But at the same time, I always tell clients, look, if you apply, at the very least, you're getting the process going. Cause how long can it take? 4 to 8 weeks, right? And if they have medical issues, it could take them much longer than that, because they're asking for an attending physician statements from their other doctors. So why do I say no, it's not a firm commitment? Because sometimes they get all scared, oh, am I tied to this? No, you're not. You can still decide after the fact, right? And that's if you even get approved, okay? So no firm commitment, I will say that way it gives them time to think about it, because it can take 4 to 8 weeks, right, at the minimum. Now, unless it's a power term, sometimes I just got, you know, PID, you know, one of your clients is right away, she got instantly approved, okay? HIPAA, if you guys are in healthcare, you know that their information is private, right? So why do I disclose this? So that they know that I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna know what the hell's going on, but I will just know the results from the underwriting team, okay? 4 possibilities with the application, okay? Now, sometimes if I know the client, like let's say they told me hypertension, I'll be like, there's only 3 possible things. Either you're gonna get approved at this rate, you're gonna get approved at, you know, a higher rate, or you can get declined, right? But typically, if you don't know, I'll be like, look, either you're gonna get approved at a higher rate, a lower rate, same rate, or you can get declined. That way, the expectations are there, because that's really all that can happen, okay? That way you're not saying, oh, you know, you're not setting too high expectations, and again, that leads to you're over promising and under delivering, okay? Deposit. This is really important. I always tell my clients, like if they qualify for that deposit, I'll say within 24 to 48 hours, expect that money to be drafted from your account. Is this okay with you? And I repeat that twice. Because what do they usually get from clients that all of a sudden the money's out of their account? Hey, you know, somebody took money from my account. Oh, I told you, 24 to 48 hours.
Yes.
You gotta tell them that, right? You can't tell them that, oh, you know, 'cause, you know, there's a lot of scammers, and I understand the concern. So if you're upfront about it, then they know that, okay, 24 to 48. I do that twice. Within 24 to 48 hours, right? Expect your account to be drafted. Expect it, okay? All right, now, any questions so far? No, okay. So when I said know your product, right, you gotta know your products, right? And why do I love and we love Primerica? That's why you're all in this room. Number one, we only sell term, right? You all know that. We don't sell trash value, okay? We offer up to 35-year term. Most companies out there, they only offer 20, right? That's majority. Some do offer 30, right? And the problem is, with a lot of these companies, if you look at the last one, if they say, you know, they want a 30, let's say they get a 30 years, excuse me. After 30 years or 20 years or 10 years or whatever term is given, they have to what? Reapply, sometimes with a medical exam, right? And most of the times when you're older, that's when you have medical issues already, you're probably not gonna qualify, right? For us, it is a guaranteed conversion, and a medical exam does not have to be performed anymore. Now, why is this again very important? True story, I had a client. She had a 20-year term with another company, it was not our company, and she was referred to me. Apparently, it was January, she was supposed to, her policy was going to end in March of this year. Well, she called the company and asked if she can, you know, can renew it, right? Well, she had a history of she had a history of some type of reproductive cancer. This was 6 years prior, but it was stage 1. She didn't need any treatment, no ongoing treatment, no radiation, none of that. And they told her, because of that history, you do not qualify to renew your term. But guess what? I said, look, I will try, because based on your history, and I think the advantage with me is I do have a medical background, and so I kind of know when it's possible and when it's not possible, right? So I told her, look, I'm not gonna promise you the moon, but I think we can at least try, right? And guess what? She got approved with us. Right? I had another client that applied with me 2 weeks ago, And, he apparently applied with a competitor and he got declined, right? And he got approved with us just recently. Now he wants to go up to $1 million. And I told him, look, you apply for $1 million at the other company, and because he had some issue. It wasn't anything major, but I was like, look, let's try the 500,000 first, right? Because insurance companies, it's a business. They look at the risk, all of the risk, right? So I said, let's try the $500,000 first, and then if you get approved, then at least if you try for the $1 million, you already know that they can't take that $500,000 back. Well, he got approved, so he's really, really happy, okay? Client satisfaction, right? Terminal illness rider, if anybody's not familiar with this gives the capability of the insurer to accelerate a certain amount depending on the death benefit, but it's usually 40 to 70% of the death benefit if what? They are diagnosed with a terminal illness. And with Primerica, that is defined if the client has less than 6 months to live, okay? Now, why is this really important? This is a living benefit that we have, okay? And there are no, oh, no, gotcha, oh, it has to be because of this type of terminal illness or this type of injury. None of that bullshit like the other companies do, right? So, sorry. With a terminal illness rider for our company, as long as the provider, a healthcare provider says that you have less than 6 months to live, you can accelerate a certain amount of money, right? Now, sometimes the difference between living and dying is money. Yes? Okay? So typically, when somebody's diagnosed with terminal illness, the doctor or healthcare provider says, "I'm so sorry, this is it. Enjoy the last 6 months of your life." This actually happened to my brother-in-law, right? He was given less than 4 months to live, and he qualified for it, but he decided to just allow his wife to get the full amount. And this is important because if you're diagnosed with a terminal illness, typically, you've already exhausted your options that your health insurance covers, right? They don't really cover for a second opinion or out of network, or let's say you want to go out of state even to find a cure, right? So now you have some money to start with to potentially, improve your prognosis. Maybe you'll live longer, right? But if you don't have the money, you don't have the capability to do that. Or perhaps if there really is nothing else to do, then, the last 6 months, you can take the money, maybe you can enjoy it with your family. Build those last 6 months, those memories with your family. Make sense? Okay. Client education. We really, really emphasize the educating, and this is why, we go over the different types of life insurance, why work sucks, what work insurance sucks, why cash value sucks, and then why term is better. I was trying to compose myself so I don't drop any more F-bombs. But, and we are big on buying term invested difference, right? And this is why it's really important for you guys to, really work on getting your securities license, because now you have the capability to actually, set them up where they buy term and they can invest the difference so that later on they are self-insured to not need that insurance anymore, right? So if you have a securities license, then, you can say, here, like, what you do, Tia, what's your budget? They say $400, okay, $100 towards insurance. Now $300, we can actually put in a Roth IRA, which is a tax-free retirement, right? They were paying $413 for a trash value. They're not gonna retire with any money, right? And they're gonna lose the insurance anyways. This is who we're competing against, right? So we gotta make sure that, if you don't have your securities license, I'm sure your upline does, right? And you can use that, right? Because the worst thing to do is set up that term insurance and they have absolutely no investment so that they can actually be comfortable later on. Make sense? And I think this is this is always the rebuttal of these stupid agents, which I just got into like this past week. They're like, well, you say buy term, invest, a difference, but most of them don't invest. Well, I do. I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I do. I said, yes, it happens, but it's still, right? It's still better. And this fool had a securities license too.
Oh my God.
He had a buffet of life insurance. I'm like, how is that even smart? He had a whole life, a BUL, an IUL, and a term life.
Oh my God.
What is You're teaching your clients and you have a buffet of life insurance? No wonder they're dumb. They're becoming dumb.
Oh my God.
What stupid does, right? What was that saying? Whatever that is. English is not my first language. All right. Now, We have a very, very efficient death. Laughing at it. I like it. Okay. We have at least I'm not boring you to tears, right? We have a very efficient death claim process. Over 90% of our death claims are paid out in 2 weeks. And this was, I can attest to this, my husband's brother, that was the first death claim that Samir helped me process. He passed away November 2, and then, what was it, 2021? 3 years. He passed away 2021. I got the paperwork to his wife on the 12th, because we had to bury him first. She gave it back to me on the 23rd. The check was in her mailbox December 9th. Okay, not even 3 weeks, which means the check was actually mailed within 2 weeks. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Primerica actually punishes themselves when they delay the death claim process. There's interest that is added to the death claim, right, the amount, if they keep, delaying it. And that is why they try to pay it sooner, because they're punishing themselves for delaying. What is the average payout for other companies? 6 months. Okay, sometimes they're cheaper, yeah, but you get what you pay for. Or sometimes they don't even pay at all, right? You had a client that had 2 term insurance, one with us and one with a competitor. We had already paid out in 30 days, the other company never paid. Okay, it happens, right? So I always tell my clients, well, you get what you pay for. You might nickel and dime me, but you know what? The Primerica is not gonna nickel and dime you when you actually need it. Okay? War or terror clause. Again, this is really important. I always tell the story of 9/11. This was in 2001 when the World Trade Center, with the 2 planes or whatever. And back then, there were a little over 200 insurance companies, but there were only 3 of us that paid out the death claims. Don't ask me who they are. I know one is New York Life. I don't know who the other one is, but definitely we were one. Doesn't matter who the other one is, but we did it. Okay? And, I even tell them, you can even Google, class action suits for non-payment. It's still there. There's still several. Did you?
I know you.
Yeah, right. And that's really important, right? When COVID happened, this is in 2020, did you know that a lot of insurance companies actually stopped accepting applications? Do you want a company that does that? When you actually might really need it, that's when they say, oh, we're not gonna do that. It's a business, right? All you saw on the news was people were dying left and right.
Yeah.
Front and back, right? So they stopped accepting applications. Primerica did not, only with the condition of they had to at least be COVID-free for 90 days. Do you want to work with a company that will at least still provide, even though they know that it's a higher risk to the company? Who do you want to work with? Right? What is Primerica worth? $220-something per share? Only publicly traded since 2010? We're so good that our competitors buy shares of our company. Right? Oh, yeah, we work with Fidelity, but they bought shares of our company. Vanguard bought shares of our company. Right? JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. They're competitors, but guess what? They bought shares. They believe in us more than they believe in themselves. Okay? And this is why Primerica term is optimal, the best. Okay? But you gotta do your part in making sure that you're educating your clients, you know your products, and you can emphasize why Primerica. Don't try to rush the presentation. Time is money, I understand, but guess what? When you're efficient and you're a good closer, you're gonna overcome all the objections that could potentially be thrown at your face, okay? That's it, right?
Yep.
Any questions? Thank you, guys.